How does it feel to be back in Montreal? I know it's not the first time, but still.
It's a good feeling. Still, even though yesterday I felt that I'm not going to be nervous, but now today it feels a bit different. It's a little easier than the first time, and then like I said, when I was talking to a few people yesterday, I hope that I can enjoy and kind of relax a bit more in the game time, and obviously this is one of those moments again that brings back a lot of memories, and when you sit before the game, you're going to think about all the years that I spent here. So it's a great night.
As the years go by,
you know what I think is at this point it's way too early to really think about what's going to happen next year. Like I did this time after last year, we sat down after the season and kind of reviewed how I felt physically and if I was able to kind of put the work into it again. And decided to come back for another year. I'm going to do the same thing after this year, and I really honestly don't know if I'll play next year or not. So we'll see.
Saku, as the years go by, how much more, or how does it get more difficult to try to keep your personal and charity connections with Montreal? Or is that still something that's very much part of what you do?
Well, it's tougher. I mean, first of all, like the foundation is still active, and we have it at the hospital there. But when you're not here every day and we don't have big happenings a couple of times a year, it's obviously make it tougher. And the same goes with your friends, and it's been now 4 or 5 years. You still follow what's going on in Montreal, and you talk to people that are close to you. But obviously, the longer the time goes, the perspective kind of gets a bit different.
When you step foot in here, Saku, is there one particular moment that pops back into your head when you come in?
Well, there's a lot of those. I started my career here, so obviously the first games, the first goals. Being selected as a captain of the Canadiens. Then obviously off-ice battles with the cancer and coming back in that game, some of the good runs that we had in the playoffs. So there's so many different memories that comes to my mind, and older you get, you kind of appreciate more the friendships and the people that you met along the way, and you'll never lose those. So so it's really, really hard to pick one moment or one incident, but there's a lot of great ones.
Michel said yesterday that moment when you came back was just too emotional. You had to go behind. Is that something you have any memories of that?
Well, for myself, when I was standing in the blue line before the game, it's kind of a blur. Tough to describe how I felt, but obviously it was filled with overwhelming emotions and what happened in a short period of time, a couple of months, and getting back from the treatments and being able to be back on the ice and playing in the NHL game again. Obviously, it was remarkable, and I've seen it only 2-3 times, the clip from before and the highlights, and obviously I've heard that many times from a lot of different people that was one of the most emotional moments that they've watched TV and hockey, and I read his comments, and I really appreciate it.
That moment is now part of the montage during the Canadian national anthem. So we'll see it every night.
Well,
you probably
hopefully we're going to react well tonight, so that would be nice.
Saku, what are your impressions of the young player who now wears your number 11?
Obviously, being in Western California, you don't see too much hockey, but obviously there's been a few highlights that I've seen, and it seems that he has a bright future in front of him, and he works extremely hard. He's a real honest player and has a good touch around the net. So I wish him all the best, and haven't met him personally, but he seems to be doing just fine.
What do you think is going to happen tonight, Saku? How do you think tonight's going to go down? I know you were nervous before the last time, but you having played already here, what do you think is going to go down?
Well, it's for myself. I hope it's like I said. It's going to be a little easier to get into the game and keep the focus on the game. I'm hoping again a great reaction from the fans. I mean, they've been behind me since day one, and they've been there for me. Hopefully, the game, the end, will be the way it was last time, that we got 2 points, and that would make it that much sweeter on my part.
So you're saying if you get a big ovation, it might throw you off your game tonight?
Well, he did last time.
Saku, what does it mean to you, the support and emotions of the city, the fans continue to still show you? Forever show you.
It's when we got here yesterday, there was a lot of people at the hotel and people that I've never met before, and they are thanking me from over the years, and it's a really good feeling. it's overwhelming, and obviously, you know, a lot of that goes what happened with Being Cancer and us, you know, giving back to the community and being a part of the foundation. But I've always felt that there's a special bond between me and Montreal and the people here, and it's really, really unique. And I never, when I first got here, I never expected that something like this could happen. But I'm proud of that.
Are the Olympics on your mind?
Well, they are. I mean, it's still a far away, and at this age of my career in life, I, you know, obviously have to be selected first. But it's a tough battle for the players to go there and play all the games and then come back and get right back in the NHL schedule. So, you know, I have to review myself and see in what condition I am and if I feel like I'm up to it. But it would be. I've played 4 times before, and having the 5th Olympics would be amazing.
How have you met?
Regrets about your name?
Not really. I mean, there's always when you play for any sport, you want to win. And you ask anybody that's played here as a member of the Canadiens or a visiting team, they know the atmosphere, they know the fans, how passionate they are. So it's not really a regret, but I feel unfortunate that we weren't able to go further in the playoffs and really have that legitimate chance to win the cup here. You know, there were things just before I left that, you know, you were able to kind of feel that things were going the right direction and we're doing well, but that chance, I guess that's the only thing that I feel that I missed.
How have you managed your change in role, or the way that just you're changing the expectations that are placed on you as a player? How have you dealt with that? How's that been for you?
You know, I think this year is probably the first year right now that the role is a little bit different, a little more defensive role than it's been before. And you know, it's an adjustment period. There's no doubt about that. But older you get as a person, you know, you view things differently, and the perspective on the game and life is different. At this point, I'm going to enjoy every moment that I have, and as long as I feel that I can help the team and I can be a factor to make our team better, that's how long I think I'm going to play. And really, it doesn't matter anymore about the numbers. You know, how many goals or points you get, is as long as the team is doing well, and you can feel that you're doing your part, and I think that's what it is. And you know, I'm hoping that this year or maybe next year or whenever it is, I'm going to get that chance that I didn't get here to be in the Stanley Cup final and compete for the.
You mentioned you felt things sort of turning around here at the end. Did that factor in you? This would make it harder though when you happen to go.
Yes and no. I mean, you know, I felt that it was a time for me kind of have a new challenge in a way, and I think the Canadiens felt the same way, that it was just time for a new page in a way, and you know, there's a lot of guys that I played with and the people that work for the Canadiens that I wish all the best for them, and I know what a great place this can be to play when things are going well. So I think it's good for hockey, and it's fun to watch when that happens. But you know, when I left, then obviously the focus from there on was with the Ducks and what's going on there. So it's just you know, it's just the way it happened. You know, really, I didn't have any regrets. And you know, if they were doing well and things were going better here, I was happy for that.